If you're a woman over 40 and you're amazing at taking care of everyone else, but you still feel kind of empty, unseen, or disconnected, this might not be about your relationship. And it's definitely not because you, quote unquote, need less. In most cases, the issue isn't giving, it's that your body doesn't feel safe receiving. And in this episode, we're breaking down why that happens and what actually changes when you start to shift it. So, Barbara, we talk about this all the time and hear about this all the time where women will come to us and say, I love giving, but I also want more attention. I want more pleasure. I want more support. Like they have desires or things that they're asking for. And yet, when it shows up, their body tightens. What the fuck is that about? What's going on here with our difficulty receiving?
Okay, so in order to understand the difficulty with receiving, you have to understand the distinction between giving from overflow
Mm.
and giving from control. And this
Mm.
shit is really deep. Okay, so let's just like break it down. When you give from overflow, it feels like, I'm so full. I want to give. It's erotic, it's generous, it's alive. You are happy, you are turned on. There's no score heaving, right? You don't feel depleted after. So that's like giving from overflow. And we've all been there. We've had those moments in our life where it's like, I feel really good. I'm going to go out and just like live life today. And you find yourself in situations where you're just giving and you're not expecting anything back, right? There's no expectation. It's just like, it feels good to feel good and give that away. That's the
Yes.
giving from overflow.
Yeah.
Giving from control, here's the catch. So that's when you're like depleted and it sounds like if I give this,
Hmm.
I'll be loved. I'll
Right.
be chosen. I'll be safe. There's a
Yeah.
hidden agenda. We don't even realize there's a hidden agenda, but it's transactional underneath the
Yeah.
surface. It's like, you secretly are expecting something back. And
Right.
like, think about it. How many
Uh-huh.
times have you given from a place of, depletion? Your gas tank is empty, and you're like, I just want some like validation. I just want some attention. I just want to be seen. And then you like fly off the handle or you get resentful. It's because you actually started to give from an empty cup.
Yeah.
And so it's exhausting, right? And it's tied to identity. It's like, I'm going to be the good woman, right? I'm going to give even if I am like, it's like the giving tree. You've become the giving tree,
Yes.
and you're like trying to give from, you don't have anything left to give, but you keep doing it because it's the conditioning, and you're
Yeah.
secretly expecting something back. So basically the control based giving is a secret subconscious strategy that's been conditioned into all of us. I am guilty of it too.
Same.
I, and over, because I want people to like, when we're talking about this, I want them to understand like we've been there.
Yeah.
Like that's why we can talk about, like, that's the biggest thing that makes us experts. Yes, we work with women all the time and support them and have clients that like learn from us, but we have lived these lives and we have been there to the point where it's broken us and we had to find a new way. That's why we're here. So control based giving is a strategy. Overflow giving is a celebration. And those are the two. It's like a big
Oh, I love
distinction.
that. I love that. Wait, let's
Yeah.
say that again. So controlled giving is, say that one more time.
Control based giving is a strategy. It's a secret, hidden agenda, hidden from yourself. You don't even know you're doing it. You're just on automatic giving, control based, because you're
Yep.
expecting something back. So it's a
Yep.
strategy to get something back. Where overflow giving is a celebration.
Celebration. That's it. I love that. That's so good. And it's funny, you were talking about the overflowing cup, and it's sort of, I had this picture in my mind of like constantly pouring into everyone else, but never actually taking a sip yourself, right?
Hmm.
like a house with no doors where everything is maintained and controlled and managed and pretty, but nothing new can enter. Like that's it.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about like why we're so uncomfortable with receiving, because I think that's the other part of it. Like, yes, there's an aspect of control and being a good girl and wanting to please others and wanting to be validated in exchange for all the things that we give as women. But there's also, I think, a real truth to this like discomfort women feel about receiving. So when we start having these conversations, they're like, oh, you're right, I'm over giving. Great. They still can't receive even with the awareness because of what? Like, what's that discomfort about?
This is like one of my favorite topics. Women are constantly, like I would say, this is the thing that women come to me most with. I want to receive. I just want to receive. I want to get without doing more. And it's what's interesting and I find fascinating about this is that there is a deep inner knowing. Like women know that there is somewhere possibly in the time space reality for them to actually receive without giving more because they've gotten that hit and they are like in this big puzzle of like how do I solve this. So my experience is the reason why receiving feels so freaking uncomfortable for so many of us. It used to really feel uncomfortable for me, and now at times, it's like increments you got to practice, is
Mhm.
because you it goes back to what we were just talking about with the control. Receiving requires being seen without performing.
Oh no, that's the hard part. We're so used to performing.
We're so used to perform, like I'm exhausted, I'm in the giving tree state, and I am gonna just put on a smile
Yeah.
and keep going and pretend like I am really enjoying this. And
Yeah.
that's the performance. That's the performance of where I'm gonna have sex even though I don't want to have sex and pussy is a no and I'd rather sleep because like I just should.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like go and like take, drive everyone everywhere, manage everyone's schedule, make sure everyone's fed without feeding me first.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny as you're saying this, I'm really feeling my nervous system like
Mhm.
responding to the conversation. And what it's bringing up for me is that this is a nervous system issue, a conditioning issue,
Nervous.
right? Which is
Yeah.
true about fucking everything we talk about, really. It's like we're undoing the conditioning, the patterns that have been taught to us from a very early age, and we've seen them modeled by our mothers and aunts and
Yeah.
grandmothers and all the women in our lives. And so it's really a safety issue. Like your nervous system has been trained to be responsible, to give, to take care of everyone else. And that now, even though that keeps you in a vigilant state, it's actually normal and feels safe because you get the whatever, the martyr badge, if nothing else. But we need safety to receive, because receiving is this like open receptive, right? Like it's in the fucking word. You have to be receptive. To be receptive, you have to let down some armor. You have to soften. And so I hear a lot of conversation about, being in your feminine and being receptive, and like our nervous systems are like, I don't feel safe. That doesn't feel safe to me, you
So
know?
here's the thing. So like we have to be careful when we're using safety in this particular conversation because
Yeah.
this is where the wiring got crossed in the nervous system because most women we were conditioned to believe love must be earned, right? And that goes back to what we were talking about before. So it's like I do something, I get love, right?
Hmm.
Worth equals what you've given,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Safety then becomes being needed. That's where
Right.
I'm saying safety equal like I am safe because my kids need me. I am safe
Yeah.
because my partner needs me. I am
Yeah.
safe because that's how it codes in the nervous system. That's the conditioning, but that's where it's really funky and like needs to be unwired and redone if you actually have a desire to really truly receive from the true like deep feminine because when something comes without effort, it short circuits the nervous system, the
Yeah.
identity, right? So receiving brings up feelings we'd rather not feel. That's what
Right.
happens. We don't feel safe in feeling the feelings that we don't want to feel when we're receiving. So I'm saying, receiving is a threshold issue. It is not a getting issue. It's
Right.
like what happens is, and think about it, I always use the example of when I was younger and somebody would say, "Oh, you're beautiful." All of these, like, I would immediately get like, I would clench, my body would get tightened, I would get really uncomfortable, and I'd get into my head. I was not able to actually receive the compliment and feel like, oh, thank you. Like, now I feel like, thank you so much. Like, I love when people tell me I'm beautiful. Before, when I was younger, I would get like, I would try to change the topic really fast and be like, oh my God, do I have to give them a compliment? They don't really mean it. They're just saying that to be nice. Like, I'd be in my head because I felt so uncomfortable sitting in that 5 seconds of like just receiving and letting that the words, what they were saying land,
Yeah.
and if you think about it, a lot of times when you're like receiving something, when you're trying to receive something or somebody's trying to give to you, the way that we block it because of the conditioning, because we're so controlling, is what happens is guilt comes up, meaning like, I didn't do enough to deserve this kind of receiving. Or
Yeah.
vulnerability comes up, like, now they can see me. Wow,
Yeah.
that, like, this impacted me. Or loss of control. I can't manage how they feel about me, because that's the mind fuck too. We think that we're managing how people are feeling about us through the performing, which is
Right.
not true. But that's also, it's all like layered, right? So like, it really comes down to receiving is a threshold issue in the thing of like, it is a safety issue, but it's a safety issue in the way of, can I feel safe in the discomfort of
Yeah.
this moment? Can I stay with the guilt? Can I stay with the vulnerability? Can I stay with the loss of control? Because the more you can stay with that, the more you can feel your feelings. The feminine is here to feel fucking deeply.
Yep.
And when we block those feelings, we are literally blocking the receiving from coming through. So it is a threshold issue. This is why we have the Central Sisterhood, because we are helping you move through these emotions in a way that actually does feel safe, and show the nervous system how to feel safe in these moments, so that you can expand these thresholds so that you can receive more. So it's
Yeah.
not like, it goes from receiving compliments to being able to be open to having incredible sex, for hours, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like, that's the receiving. That's where it changes. So it starts with increments, because the conditioning is so intense. So
Yeah.
like, it's rewiring safety from like, safety equals being needed, to safety equals, I can stay with the discomfort of this moment. I can stay with the intensity of this moment. This doesn't
Yeah.
feel comfortable, but this is right. I'm going to receive this, even though
Yeah.
I'm so uncomfortable receiving it.
Yeah, it's so true. And the example you brought up is so perfect of how do you respond to a compliment that's given? Like that's such a litmus test for your
Right.
threshold for
Right.
receiving. Like, can you take a compliment? Are there only certain areas where compliments are acceptable because they're tied to your productivity or the giving, right? Or can you receive a compliment that's just about you existing, not something you did, but just who you are, how people respond to you in that moment. And I love that you brought up the Central Sisterhood, because each month we have a theme that's like the umbrella under which we practice various pleasure tools and do different embodiment exercises and rituals and so forth. Last month, we covered staying with intensity. This month, it's pleasure without performance. So there are these different layers that you're hearing in this conversation about, what it takes to undo the conditioning, to rewire yourself, to receive more, to enjoy more, to feel more fucking alive. Like it's all tied together. And it can start with something as simple as, how do you stay with the discomfort of a compliment that feels it just feels it's not landing as like, yes, that's correct. Thank you. It's true, you know?
Well, it's the difference. It's like, that's like, what we were taught and what we do. It's like, okay, I used to get a compliment and be like, thank you. And you feel it in your body. Anyone listening to this, think about when you've gotten any type of a compliment, whether it's about how you look or like you're great at work or you're great at this, any compliment, it didn't matter. I would be like so uncomfortable and clench and be like, okay, I need to get out of this experience because I would run from the discomfort. And now when someone says, you're beautiful, what do we say? Thank you. It's true.
It's true.
And that somehow for my body is like, wait a second, I'm going to be with that truth. Whether it's uncomfortable or not, even if I'm blushing, even if like whatever sensations, I can hold whatever's coming up. And like, that's the aliveness. That's actually what we truly want is to feel those sensations. We don't want to feel numbed out and avoid sensations all day. But we're so conditioned to just automatically shut it down because we're so not used to celebrating ourselves
Yeah.
for just being ourselves. Like it's
Yes.
radical, but
Yeah.
that's like the huge shift, right? That's the like major shift. It's like, and it all like build on each other because when you're celebrating yourself for being yourself, isn't that pleasure?
Yes, totally. And instead, we fall into the trap of celebrating the fact that we're low maintenance as if it's this like great flex that like I don't need anything. I'm super independent. I'm low maintenance. And like, are you really? Like, or is that just how you maintain control, how you protect yourself
Right.
from feeling intensity, from having to actually be yourself instead of the performative version of yourself, right? Like it's all, these are all layers of how we have protected and armored up and created an identity that feels safe and lovable when the truth is like the real you, the most alive, vulnerable, shameless version of you, that's the bitch that actually has the amazing sex and the incredible abundance and the relationships that give to her and fuel her, not just take and deplete. Period. Full stop.
Well, yeah.
So, okay, so to kind of summarize the key points here, I'm getting a couple things. I'm getting that overgiving is often control, not actually generosity,
Yeah.
right? That tied to identity. That receiving actually requires some degree of safety, of nervous system safety, not effort. Like it's not an effort
Right.
to receive, it's a softening. And
Yeah.
that this hyper responsibility, this good girl shit that we've all grown up around is actually what's blocking our desire and aliveness. It's this like, let's stay in control. So how can we all practice softening even just like 1% today and get a little bit more, like increase that threshold you were talking about of receiving and not just giving all the time?
I mean, it's really as basic to like even notice when someone gives you a compliment and stay with that and say, notice what happens in your body. That
Yeah.
it's that subtle. Notice what happens in, are you uncomfortable? Are you feeling like I didn't deserve that compliment? Like, are you feeling any guilt? Are you feeling like I need to change the topic because that's control?
Yeah.
Are you feeling like really vulnerable because they see you? Notice what feelings are coming up and stay with those feelings. Do not rush to like do anything. Just be in the quietness of the moment. Like somebody gives you a compliment and you just are like, thank you, and practice saying thank you. It's true. And it sounds so easy and it sounds so basic. This is work. This is work for the woman who is really the overgiver, the people pleaser, CEO of everybody else's life.
Yeah.
This is a lot of work. Like, it is a big deal for you to just stop and just be like, thank you. It's true. Like, really
Yes.
feel into that, and like let the words land in your body. This is not, even when you're listening to the podcast, listen with your body. Don't listen
Yeah.
with your already exist lens of ears. Don't do that because you're not going to hear it. Listen, let your body take this in while you're listening to us talking. Notice what's happening in your body. Women are incredible because, our brains are like our corpus callosum. It's larger than men's. It's like basically like spaghetti, like interwoven spaghetti line. So we could listen to something, be in our bodies, and also really absorb what's happening. Like men can't do that. They're linear. We are like more circular. So it's like listen with your body. Notice what's happening in your body. Get back to the body while you are listening to us. And taking a deep breath in now with us right now. Sounding on the way out, letting those
Yeah.
shoulders drop. Receive this moment for yourself. Let your body just be. What happens when a woman actually starts to let herself receive? Um, Her body starts to soften. She moves from tension to sensation.
Mm.
Her magnetism increases, right? So it goes back to the example we just used of thank you, it's true. Do you see the difference of like, okay, if someone gave me a compliment back in the day, I would be like, okay, thank you. Not really that magnetic. But when someone says to me now, gives me a compliment now, and I say, thank you, it's true. You see the difference? The magnetism increases instantly, because
Yes.
I allowed myself to receive it. And what happens is this is what's amazing with the nervous system, even though it's not used to it, even though it's not comfortable yet, it feels the spark of the words land in the body and it creates this celebration that cannot be denied when you allow yourself to receive the compliment. It is a true exchange. It is giving is receiving. That's what they say in the Course in Miracles. And that's what it is. I just had chills. Like that is what happens when you don't block it, right? When you stay with that moment. And so her magnetism increases, and then you become the one that no longer has to chase. You
Yes.
become the one that's available. So the universe, men, partners, they start to show up differently because now there's space for them to actually show up for you. Because now you're like, I'm going to chill. I need to refuel. I'm no longer going to be the giving tree. I'm actually going to make sure my gas tank is full before I give more. And in that space, that creates opportunity for them to show up for you. And now you can receive their showing up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
your standards rise, right? Your
Yeah.
standards rise. They feel good. You feel good. This is a win win, right? So the moment a woman opens up to receive, this is what happened. Life starts to pursue her. It starts to hunt her. Her desires start to hunt. You start to get into alignment because you are no longer obstructing the goodness coming to you. You are saying, I am an open vessel. I will be with whatever feelings, emotion, experience I need to be because it gets to be this good. My body can hold it all.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So well said. And there's such a difference between like you also reinforcing to your own nervous system the celebration of receiving when you take a compliment, right? Like the example you brought up of like you tightening up when you used to receive a compliment versus the way you receive it now. I also think there's something in there around like even if you're not tightening up, the common response is like, oh, this old thing, right? Or like, oh, it was no big deal. Like
Yeah,
we dismiss and downplay the
right. The
things that
dismissing. Yeah.
that is reinforcing to our nervous system that it's not that important, that that we're just doing the bare minimum, that it's table stakes. And so we're contributing to the conditioning that we're already like fucked by. So I just love the example that you shared and the way that you frame that. It's so potent and powerful. And I hope everyone is fucking taking notes.
Yes, and if you like are like I'm so sick of being the giving tree. It's so exhausting. It doesn't feel good. I am because the thing is you don't get what you really want anyway because
Yeah.
it's a it's a secret transactional experience. You're like I'm going to do this for that, but they don't know that I'm doing this for that. So now you get to be resentful at them for not giving you the love, attention, whatever you wanted, even though you never directly asked for it. Instead, you're like, I'm going to do all of this stuff they didn't ask me to do. And then you're exhausted. You're left with negative energy, negative gas. And so I was like, I'm going to go from the giving tree to being the receiving tree. So this is like my, like, I have always constantly like this beautiful, there's like rainbows in the day and the sun. And I'm like, like, I don't know. It's sometimes it always just like reminds me to just like slow down. Like, okay, I don't have to get everything done today. Like, and I just, it's like, this is my, the receiving tree, like
I love
shines.
it.
It's radiant. That's what happens when you turn into the receiving tree. This is
Yes.
it. This is it. Central sisterhood, receiving tree.
Yes. Sign me up.
Oh,
Amazing. Well, thank you for joining us today. If you want to go deeper with this, if you want to practice this with other women who are having a similar experience, who are also trying to rewire this conditioning that's got them feeling disconnected, numb, not turned on by life or sex or their partner or their career or whatever, like that's what we do inside the Essential Sisterhood. We gather every week, we practice together, we use different pleasure tools, and we increase our threshold to receive, to enjoy, to feel, and to stay with intensity without fucking performing. So there's a link below this episode if you want to check it out. You can join us for free or join us in premium where you get to be with us live in Sisterhood every week. There's no better way to increase your threshold than in this community. Hopefully we'll see you inside Essential Sisterhood, and we'll definitely see you back here next week for another episode.